Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for April the 11th. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy. After that, I'll pull one card for each sign, and we'll see how those energies meld together for the predictions for each sign in the zodiac. Feel free to check not only your sun sign, but also your rising and your moon sign. If you know what that means, check your Venus sign, your Jupiter sign, all that good stuff. All right, overall energy shows up as the King of Arrows. We like that. King of Arrows talks about that we could be acting or we could be interacting with someone who is acting in a very logical way. This is someone who's good at making plans and following through with those plans. This is someone who meets their goals. They may take a while to think things through before they make a decision, but once they make a decision, generally action is fast. So let's see what comes up. This is also somebody who's great at details. This is somebody who makes a good lawyer, a good accountant. They may not make the best person to go to for advice about any type of emotional situation because really logic is king as far as they're concerned. All right, let's take a peek at how this plays out for everyone. Okay, Aries, you guys are showing up with the Guardian in reverse. This is telling me basically that you've got some kind of situation where some type of fear or obsession has been kind of at the steering wheel for you, and you're able today to work through that through logic, just logicking out the situation and not letting it trigger you emotionally, just looking at what is the logical answer here, or what is the logical response to this situation. Good for you. Taurus. Five of Bows coming up in reverse. Bloop-a-da-doo. Taurus, you may not be feeling like you can logic things out really well today. There may be something going on that has you feeling less than up to snuff in that way. I know for me, if I take cold medicine, I feel like logic is a far distance away. It could be something like that. It could be something also where maybe you can't get all the information that you would like to have to logic something out. But logic is not the strongest thing going in your favor just today. It's not coming through really strong for you. Next up, we're looking at Gemini. Geminis, we have the blasted oak showing up here. What is going on? This is interesting because Gemini, I think that you are choosing to make some big changes and you're making these changes because it's the only thing that really makes sense right now. Even though it may not be easy and it may not be popular, I think you've really considered all your options here and you're feeling like this is the only thing that really works. So good for you, Geminis. Cancer. You guys have the 9 of Vessels showing up here. Blah, ba-da-da. Cancers, I think you're interacting with somebody today who is being incredibly logical, and I think that there's a lot of information going back and forth, a lot of sharing. Maybe you guys are bonding. Maybe you're meeting with a lawyer about something, and there's a lot of information that is coming out of this situation. Um, it doesn't have to be a professional that you're meeting with, but there's someone that you are interacting with here, and there's a lot of great energy going back and forth between the two of you, whether that's information or chemistry or whatever. All right, it's going to be different for different ones of you. So that's for Cancers. That's a good one. Next up, let's look at Leo. Leo. 8 of Vessels coming up in reverse. Leos. Leos, I feel like this is somebody coming back from your past today. And this is somebody who is very logical and likes to think things through. Things have to make sense for them to do anything. Virgo. Great Bear showing up in reverse. So Virgos, you have somebody who's very logical in your sphere of influence today who I don't know if they're doing this for you or if they're doing this for somebody else and you're witnessing it. I think it's going to be, some of you it'll be you, some of you it won't be. Um, But at the minimum, you're witnessing somebody who's very logical, who likes to have all the facts. You're witnessing them in a situation where they could easily take offense or be insulted, and they're not really letting that impact them. They're probably thinking through this and going, something's not making sense here." And so instead of getting upset about this or, getting any revenge or retribution for this, what they're doing instead is they're just showing grace. And later on, I think they're going to be finding out that it was good for them to show grace. Not necessarily that whatever the person was doing was okay, but that there was a lot of extenuating circumstances, and that sort of plays a factor as this person is thinking through this whole situation. Very interesting. So I'm not sure if they're showing that grace to you, Virgos. For some of you, I think that's true. For others of you, I think you're witnessing this person showing grace to somebody else. And I think when you see them, if you're seeing them show it to somebody else, I think it's going to kind of like take you back. I don't think it's the reaction that you were expecting to see from them given the situation. All right, next up, let's look at Libra. I apologize, guys. My allergies are kicking my butt today. So I'm doing a lot of tea with honey sipping. I apologize. Libras, you guys have the 10 of stones showing up here. This is my home card. And so this is telling me that you're putting some thought into something to do with a home, some type of project around a home, whether that is buying a home, leasing a home, renting a home out, improving a home, upgrading a home, selling a home, whatever. There's definitely some thought processes going into the idea of home today. Now, usually this card will come up to me as home or family. I did not get a hit on family at all. So we are talking about home, residence of some kind, somebody's home, whether it's yours or somebody else's. Okay, next up, we're looking at Scorpio. Oh, what do we have? Three of Stones or creativity. Isn't this interesting because it's a little bit like right brain, left brain energy together. So basically, this is this tells me that today, Scorpios, what we're doing is we're working out where can we um, use our creativity to bring the most benefit. And we're figuring out where we can use that creativity in a very logical way and making plans about doing that. Very cool. Next up, let's look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, King of Stones, showing up in reverse. Hmm. Is that what I'm really seeing there? Sagittarius, you've got a situation where there's somebody who is very logical, very detail oriented, who their basic plan is to make it hard for you to let go of something or hard for you to leave somewhere. Okay, so if you've put in your 2 weeks notice somewhere and your boss is, has the type of personality that we talked about at the beginning of this video, it could very well be that they're trying to give you reasons to stay, whether those are financial or emotional or whatever. They definitely are trying to make it hard for you to leave. So if this is not about a work situation, there's something going on where somebody is literally planning to make it hard for you to let go of something. Okay. Could be a relationship as well. You're going to know where that fits in your life much better than I will. All right. So, boop, ba, da, doop, boop. Who was that? That was Sagittarius. Interesting. All right. Let's look at Capricorn. Ace of Vessels or the Water of Life. Capricorn, some of you are literally planning on when you're going to have a baby, your first baby or the next baby. That is something that will either be going on in your mind or that you'll be planning with somebody else. That is not going to be true for everybody. Obviously, that's pretty specific, but that was my first hit that came up off of this card. So I know that's happening for some of you. The other things that this can be is for me, the Ace of Vessels talks about this idea of finding something new that we're really fascinated by, that we're drawn into, that we want to spend more time getting to know about. And this could be a person, this can be an activity, it can be a project, it can even be a concept. But with the more general reading here for which is going to apply to more people, this just talks about the idea of planning on that you're planning on bringing more of that kind of time into your life where you're spending time doing something that sort of draws you in, that has captured your fascination. Okay. So who was that? That was Capricorn. Next up, we're looking at Aquarius. Nine of Arrows showing up in reverse. Interesting. I've got a couple of different storylines coming through already, Aquarius. Hmm. You guys are air signs, so this overall energy is pretty well aligned to you guys. You guys could be very easily the logical person in this situation. The thing is, though, I think with this Nine of Arrows coming up in reverse, I think you're not so dedicated to being logical today. There is some kind of decision, something that you're thinking about today that emotions are actually taking the steering wheel instead of logic for some of you. Now, for others of you, Aquarius, there's a particular person who could be strong air sign. Um, that you used to be, really dedicated to, maybe you followed their podcast or followed them on YouTube or something and you didn't miss a video. And now you're not so dedicated to that person and their ideas. Something's happened and that dedication just isn't there anymore. Or this could be a person that you know that you have face-to-face interactions with, that same thing, like you're not as dedicated to everything. You're not completely on board with everything that they are on board with anymore. You're not completely on board with spending time with them like you used to, that type of thing. All right, so that was Aquarius. Next, we're going to do Pisces. So, Pisces, we have the Knight of Vessels showing up in reverse. Pisces, you have somebody who is trying to be all logical around you, and it's just draining you. It's just making you tired. You're having a hard time relating to this person, and you're having a hard time seeing how the two of you can ever bond or really move forward in any kind of meaningful way because they are so much up in their head and they are so much all about thoughts and planning and taking action based on logic. And of course, Pisces, we know that is not generally how you operate, depending on your other placements, but generally that's not normally how you operate. And so we're seeing that this is not feeling very compatible, and in fact, it may even be draining you a little bit today or a lot. Okay. So that's what I've got for the day, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate all of you. It's so fun to just get to imagine. I've had some of you guys say, "Oh, I drink my coffee or I drink my tea and watch it before I really start my day." So it's really nice to just imagine you guys out there. Thank you very much for being with me. I do sincerely appreciate it. Remember, you guys are my sponsors, so please put a thumbs up on this video, share it with others, and put comments down below. And of course, I'm looking forward to reading for some of you a little bit later on today on the phone or online. And the rest of you, I'll see back on the next video. Peace out.